I'm Lucille Herron, and I'm sitting on the spot on beside the tree where our house was in the 1928 hurricane before it blew away. But the tree's still here, and we rebuilt the house, and we're still living in it. This is a spot that we all walked around to the neighbors in the storm. It was raining and cold and wet and dark, and my mother was carrying me in her arms. And when we got to the McClures, I saw two hands come down and two arms lifted me up and they took me inside. I remember that myself, and I can see it in my mind right now.
How old were you?
I was 2 years, 4.5 months. And I remember a few days later was sitting out watching dump trucks go by, and my brother said, "Do you know what that is?" And I said, "Yes, it's dump trucks." And he said, "They're full of dead bodies." I remember that. And most of the rest of it I remember from hearing it.
There's one story about how your mom pulled your dad and I guess you out of a ditch.
My daddy had, on this side of the road, there was like a drainage ditch on this side, and there was a bridge going out to across the road. And Daddy had my two sisters in his arms. And when he started across, my mama said, "Carmen, the bridge is over here," because there was water up to their waist. And so he couldn't see it, but Mama said it. And he went right in with my sisters. And she had me in her arms, and she was pregnant with Milton, and my brother was hanging on to her dress. And she got him out, and without losing me. And he said, "Ella, I have lost the girls." She said, "No, Carmen, you still have them in your arms." But she got him out without putting me down, and he didn't. God did it, because no way that she could have got him out and he could have got out without losing the girls. And my brother, he had turned loose of Mama's skirt, and she said, "I've lost my boy." And he came back and he says, "Mama, I saved your shoes." Her shoes are washed off, and he had gone back and got her shoes, and I just nearly cry every time I think about it, because Mama, I saved your shoes.
Well, this was probably the second biggest hurricane as far as killing people in the whole country, and most people in the country have never heard about it.
That's right. Well, see, a lot of people think we had a dike like this in the road, but there was no dike here. There was a mud sand dike over towards Clewiston. But here there was nothing except the lake was in our backyard. Where Skeet's house is right there, that's where we played in the lake.
But people around the country have no idea that this happened.
That's true. And a few years from now, we'll all be gone and they'll quit talking about it. I imagine.